Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit is a Mauer Rides X-Car coaster located at Universal Studios Florida in Orlando, Florida. This ride can be seen from pretty much anywhere in the park and even from Islands of Adventure, and it's very photogenic with its bright red track. The ride also features speakers built into the trains which allow riders to choose a song from a few different music genres. My main choice for the ride was Kickstart My Heart by Motley Crue, which I highly recommend, but there are many other songs to choose from, as well as a secret playlist. The ride's stats are pretty impressive with a height of 167 feet, making it the tallest coaster at Universal. It also has a speed of 65 miles per hour and a track length of 3,800 feet. This ride has no inversions, but does feature a non-inverting loop after the first drop, as well as a vertical lift hill to start. The ride's queue line is pretty bare bones with just a bunch of switchbacks, and the ride pretty much has no theming, but the music really does add to the ride. The Restraint is just a lap bar that comes from the side, and the lap bar also features the screen where riders choose their song to listen to while riding. The ride begins with a 167-foot vertical lift hill and a pretty steep drop, but not quite vertical. The train really stalls at the top, giving riders a brief view of the park surrounding them. The airtime is also great towards the back of the train and solid up front. The ride enters the non-inverting loop, which actually gives some very weird airtime throughout the whole train. Then the ride enters the first of many block breaks, but I don't think they're too bad because most of them have ejector pops going in and out of them. The ride then dives through a building into this very long and pretty intense helix, which I grade out on all three of my rides. This section is really intense, and I was really surprised with how intense it was, and it lasts for a pretty long time. The ride then enters another set of block breaks, giving more solid airtime in and out of it. The ride dives into a fun S-bend, but nothing too crazy, and then into another weird turn that actually gives some solid sideways hang time into yet another block break, giving decent airtime in the front row. The ride, after the block break, dives down again into a few turns, and then a helix near the park's entrance, which is fairly intense. Finally, the ride pops up into another block break with another pop of airtime going off of it into a few more hills before the final brake run. Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit was a ride I had mixed expectations for going into my very first visit, but I was pleasantly surprised with how good it was. It had a bunch of solid ejector pops, a good first drop, and some actually intense moments as well. The ride was a little rough towards the back, so I would say this is a front row ride because you still get a lot of airtime and a smoother ride experience. The music really amplifies the ride for me though. I love listening to rock while on a roller coaster. It's really the perfect match in my opinion. The ride did have a pretty long line most of the time I was at Universal, so I would recommend using the single rider line because that easily cut the wait time in half at least, sometimes even making it a walk-on. Overall, this ride is actually pretty underrated and easily my favorite ride at Universal Studios Florida specifically, but not the entire resort. And it's also solidly in my top 15. Be sure to subscribe for more coaster reviews and definitely be on the lookout for more Universal Studios videos in the near future.